If you're a Cleveland Browns fan looking for a break from the emotional roller coaster that is the price we pay from loving then hating our Browns, then a big welcome to Cleveland Browns Anonymous, a group therapy podcast to help you survive the season. So let's start our meeting. Hi, everybody. This is Mike Riley with my sidekick, Brook Riley. How you doing, Brook?
Good. Chilly, rainy Cleveland Wednesday.
Oh, chilly. Yeah, 70. That's chilly. Ooh. Can you imagine if this was, February?
Oh,
we'd be out there sunshine on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it's go with Joe time, right? Joe Flacco.
I don't hate it.
The Cleveland, compare where we were last year with this year. And I do recall last year, there was some sort of rumblings from the press corps, the Mary Kays and whatever. Browns just aren't looking good in these scrimmages practices. A lot of question marks. They can't seem to get it in the red zone. And, the two scrimmages we had last year, I forget who we had it against. Maybe one of them was the Eagles. And those scrimmages were a harbinger of what was to come. Now, this year, it seems like the Browns scrimmages, especially against the Eagles, went very well, to the shock of the Philly sports writers who were covering it.
And they're a tough bunch.
Yeah. And Joe Flacco did very, very well with Jeudy.
Well, the defense got a lot of praise, too.
Yeah. Against a tough Philly O-line.
Yeah. Probably the best in the league.
Yeah. So what's going on with this upcoming last exhibition game against the Rams? What's the word you're hitting? Are we going to see a little Joe Flacco for one quarter?
I think he's going to start. And then we're going to see Kenny Pickett.
Really?
Yep.
Second quarter?
Probably like second half of the first quarter. I think with Joe, he's going to get a drive. And he doesn't need.
Yeah. 18 years in the league. Yeah.
So I think it'll be Flacco, Kenny. I think it's just going to go how the depth chart is.
Right.
With Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, and Shedeur.
I'll tell you one thing, knock on wood, no injuries. But it's going to be fun to watch that D-line against the Rams. Mason Graham, Miles.
Mason Graham's getting some love.
Oh, man, he's getting a lot of love. A lot of people are starting to remark about the Browns. Last year's Browns were, if we had Joe Flacco playing, and if we had a good field goal kicker who didn't regress like he did, the Browns would have probably been 500 team last year. But that was a season from hell. Turnovers. Deshaun was terrible, just beyond terrible. Browns got out of their DNA. They weren't running the ball. Zone option blocking that Bill Callahan had made famous disappeared. So I know we talked about it last week, but I'm encouraged because Joe Flacco is loved in Cleveland. So we're not going to have any quarterback controversy with Shedeur waiting in the wings because people just love Joe. And you have Joe Flacco with a full preseason with Stefanski as opposed to his miracle 6 games with the Browns when he just came off the couch, literally, and played. So he knows the offense. Stefanski knows him, the O-line, the whole 9 yards. People say the Browns, offense doesn't have any talent. Let me see. They've got Conklin, all-pro. Wyatt Teller was an all-pro. Bitonio was an all-pro, right? You got Njoku and you got Jeudy. And you had the MVP of the Super Bowl at quarterback, a veteran guy who showed in 23 that you put him in the right mix, he still got it. And Jeudy is a major upgrade, I think, over Amari Cooper. And from what I've been hearing about in the scrimmages, Jeudy and Flacco are just, they are connected. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think some of the biggest question marks I have is like the running game. I guess it is good news that Quinshon Judkins is, not going to be facing any charges, but he's missed all of preseason. all of training camp. I think if the Browns, like if you looked at this team and this roster and you took away the name and the city, people would be like, yeah, I mean, they'll be okay. But when you put like the Cleveland Browns, it's like, oh, they're going to be trash. So, you know, I'm kind of glad that expectations are low. I know the big debate, at least this morning when I was listening to talk radio, is like, is there any benefit in not starting Flacco and not starting Kenny Pickett and just seeing what you've got in these rookies? Because you drafted 2 rookies in the draft. That tells me that they're expecting one of them to play this year. I think it makes no sense to throw them out to the Wolves week 1, especially given the schedule. I think if I'm Andrew Berry, if I'm Stefanski, they're thinking, you know what, we're going to let these rookies develop. I really think they are high on Dylan Gabriel. I think that they see him as a viable option. I think Shedeur was like, hey, let's just take a chance. You got nothing to lose. He's a 5th round pick. So I think if I'm the Browns, I'm thinking, you know what? We're not going to do what we did in 2016, where we are losing on purpose to get a high draft pick.
2016 was the process.
And what that showed was the fan base was just at an all-time low. Players were at all-time low. No one wanted to come here. You bring in a guy like John Dorsey, who's like, we're done. I'm getting Tyrod Taylor. I'm getting Jarvis Landry. I need pros. I need adults in this room who are going to help these rookies develop. So I think what they're doing here is, you know what? Joe Flacco, he's the best option. First 5-6 games, let's just,
let's go with Joe.
Let's just go with Joe. We'll give these rookies time to develop. And eventually, maybe at the bye week, Dylan Gabriel is looking good and was like, all right, here's your shot.
I really think they're going to showcase Kenny Pickett in that second half of the first quarter as the trade pick. Some quarterback's going to go down between now and beginning of the season. And I think the Browns are going to it's going to be a seller's market for Kenny Pickett. I think they come out with maybe a 3rd rounder. Who knows? I would not be surprised that's classic Andrew Berry. I mean, look at how they picked up that wide receiver from Texas. Classic Andrew Berry. They didn't spend a draft pick, right? They signed him to a guaranteed contract, which is based on a 2nd or 3rd year. From what I'm hearing, he is a better version of, who was that speedster the Browns took 3-4 years ago?
Oh, the guy who couldn't catch.
Yeah. Or he couldn't run patterns correctly. He was a speedster. He was a kind of a reclamant. They thought maybe they could train him up and.
Oh, Antonio Callaway?
No, Gates. I think it was, not. Yeah, well, I don't know. Okay. We'll have to look it up.
They all blend together.
The Browns receiver room, right? What's your name again? But that's
hold on. Side note, there's that funny story that Joe Thomas told on his podcast where there was a game where he didn't know who the quarterback was and he literally introduced himself. He's like, oh, hey, I'm Joe.
Yeah.
Classic Browns.
Yeah, classic Browns. Well, things got to break the right way for the Browns, and they didn't break the right way last year. Turnovers. I mean, Bill Barnwell had a great column on ESPN. You don't have to be a subscriber to read it. I encourage everybody to read it. But he was just talking about the 5 teams that he think are not going to make the playoffs. They're going to have underperformed. And one of them was the Washington Commanders. And he broke down their games as to how they won. I mean, they won by the skin of their teeth. They won just, the Bears game. He throws that Hail Mary. I mean, that was like the Washington Commanders season last year. And of course, they get in the playoffs and they're just exposed by the Eagles. The Eagles just killed them. So I think the way the NFL.
Didn't they beat the Lions, though?
I don't know. The Lions are another Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah.
they're another one. I mean, I don't know. I would not be surprised if the Browns beat the Lions.
Oh, the Commanders faced the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and they got killed.
Which means the Commanders beat the Lions.
Okay. All right, the playoffs. Yeah, I think the Lions are another question mark team. Commanders definitely a question mark team. You know, Barnwell was saying he thinks the Chiefs are not going to do as well. He was just breaking down how the Chiefs just won by the skin of their teeth last year.
A lot of one
possession games, and that could come up and really bite you on your ass. And the ball and turnovers. You know, they always seem to correct themselves 1 year after, to the next year with the ball. Think about a fumble. Think about, a tip ball that happens to go right to a defensive back. There are a lot of breaks in these games. I think the Browns, the mark of the successful team this year for the Browns will be how their special teams go, the field goal kicker. And I don't think it's any surprise they've got this other guy.
Oh, I think Hopkins is done.
I think they're going to have to eat some salary on him, but they will, because he's Russian roulette. But the Browns need to win the turnover game. They need to be in the plus on the turnovers. And they led the league last year. They were like minus 20. But when you think about what happened with Deshaun, they're always falling behind because Deshaun can't convert in the red zone. He was terrible. And they had, what's his face as their offensive coordinator?
Dorsey.
Not Dorsey, who's throwing 50 times.
Yeah. It was the Deshaun offense.
Yeah. And no run game. No run game. Now you're going to get an offense which is going to be run heavy. And Fannin, if he stays healthy, I think Fannin, hey, you fantasy people out there, I would grab Fannin. I think Fannin is going to be huge in his fantasy. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting a lot of praise. I remember when they drafted him, there were a lot of the guys were like, oh, that's a steal. This guy, I think he went to Bowling Green, I think.
Yeah.
But just a freak. So.
Yeah, great draft. I mean, really, really, knock on wood. Great draft.
Can you imagine, though?
And Mason Graham.
But can you imagine? My dream scenario is Gabriel or Sanders turns out to be the guy.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 number ones next.
And you've got the other guy as like a Kirk Cousins.
Right.
When the old Redskins had RG3.
Yep.
And they had Kirk Cousins.
And I remember this game when the Redskins used to be the Redskins. RG3 got hurt, and they were like, the Redskins were playing the Browns, and Kirk Cousins was the starter. And I remember he lit us up. I was like, who is this guy?
I know.
Another classic,
Well, that's the Joe Woods defense. I mean, look at Flacco. Remember Flacco beating the Browns with the Jets?
I think that was like the Mike Pettin era.
Yeah. Dysfunctional. Well, look at if Andrew Barry and Stefanski can link arms, keep Jimmy from screwing things up, stand tall. No, Jimmy, we're not doing that. The Browns are going to do okay.
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Getting your house ready to sell, or you just need some basic repairs, and you can't get anybody to come out or even return your phone call. Then call Riley Painting and Contracting, your home mechanics, for all of your home repair needs, from electrical, plumbing, roof repairs, and getting your house ready to sell. 45 years in the business, a AAA on the Better Business Bureau, and we're on the preferred contractor list in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights. You can contact us by calling 216-371-8160 and leave a message. And guess what? We'll call you back.
Yeah, the mark and it's, I know you're a fan too, but a part of me is like, all I want is like Bill Simmons to when he talks about the Browns and guess the lines every week to be like not a total dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I just want them to
It's
be
not in the
poop factor.
poop vector.
Yeah. I want like just, you know what? Hey, you're 500, you're a little under 500, you know, the defense is good, you know, you're looking at Mason Graham, you're like, that guy's going to be
What's the word he uses? They're a little frisky.
frisky.
We want the Browns to be frisky.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, betting the Browns on the front end, I am going to be all over that. I'm going to take the Browns and take the points because they are going to get a lot of points.
As you said there, it's 3.5.
We're not betting the house, like I said last week, but there are, in fact, I'm taking Bill Barnwell's column. I want everybody to go online and read it about the teams he thinks are going to do better and the teams he thinks are going to decline. He's got KC. He's got the Chiefs as, I don't know, they can't be this high wire act. The Commanders were another one. And Indy Colts were another one where they just seem to pull rabbits out of their hat, you know, winning games. Mm-hmm. So you take the over and under, you take the Browns big time over, the Chiefs under, the Colts under, the Commanders under. I mean, I'm going to be lining up my bets after the preseason, see who's, but yeah, I'm going to take some money and just lay it out for the over under on the season. So, and you know what? There's always going to be that team that just comes out of nowhere. I mean, look at the Bengals, their Super Bowl year when they played the Rams in the Super Bowl. The year before, they had won like 4 games. They were a terrible team. Yeah. Then all of a sudden they get, you know, field goal kicker, win some games. They beat KC on the road.
Joe Burrow, I think it was his 3rd year.
I think it was his 2nd year. Maybe at first year. Yeah, names was his 3rd year because he was just getting pounded. Yeah. 1st and 2nd year with the O-line. And look at, you know, the Lions. Lions come out of nowhere last year. And then, but, you know, that's the nature of the NFL. But the Browns draft can produce on the field how it looks on paper. That is going to be huge for the Browns. And they stay healthy. Flacco stays healthy. The O-line stays healthy, like Conklin, Bitonio, Dwan Jones steps it up. Big left tackle. I mean, really, Dwan Jones becomes our left tackle after the shit we've been putting up with these last couple of years. Who was the guy?
Jedrick Wills.
I
think he's still unsigned.
Yeah. And I could see him getting signed by Andrew Berry as a backup. You got a young team. You got salary cap once Deshaun's off, you know, once that contract's. This is his last year, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's either this year or next year.
Yeah. I know even once that monkey's off our back.
I know they've been moving money.
Yeah.
And guaranteeing more, I think, to help with the salary cap.
Right.
But that's just been.
Oh, yeah. The curse of the Browns. The curse of Art Ludell.
I will say this, though. It's a little alarming.
His last year is 2026, contractually.
Yeah, season.
We could trade him.
No, it's going to take him.
Turn back to the Texans.
It is a little alarming.
It says, while the Browns restructure his contract, creating a dummy year in 2027. I don't know what that means.
Blair.
I got to say this, though. Watson, Judkins, Isaiah Bond, sexual assault, domestic violence, Michael Hall, domestic violence. It's like, at some point, it's like, there's so many just like these character issues where it's kind of like, I get it, like, if the value's there, but I feel like every other guy we sign or draft, it's like there's always some sort of like domestic violence, sexual assault.
I just think that's just the nature of sports. You got these, first of all, but let's take a look at it. You know that here's a great 30 for 30, everybody. Broke. Watch that on YouTube. Broke, about these athletes. Shaming the victim. But we got to be real here. There are a lot of women who target athletes. A lot of women.
One of them's on video.
Yeah.
The Judkins one.
Yeah. I mean, she's slapping him while he's driving He slaps her back. 5 days later, she files a complaint. She's just looking to settle for money. That's just a date. Now, Judkins, again, prior to him going on, in fact, his family, the argument started with Judkins? She was irate over texts that she saw from Judkins' parents telling him to watch out for this girl because they thought she was a gold digger. His parents are telling you. She reads that. She starts shrieking. She starts hitting him. 5 days later, he's got a complaint. Now, you know what? I believe the woman, but I don't believe the women sometimes. I believe an equal opportunity here.
I know what you mean. I just kind of like wish we got to the point where it's like we didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, and maybe in years past it was happening, but you never heard about it. That's the other thing about, where we are now but again, I think there are two sides to every story. And I think we talked about this in an early podcast with Deshaun Watson. I heard, or maybe you told me this, I heard from sources that it was the Texans, the ownership, that were bringing in these masseurs.
Let's not. He's done.
Well, Watson's, yeah. But Watson, here's the thing about, obviously the number one question, we've gone back and forth last year on podcasts about this, about where Jimmy Haslam is and his fingerprints on this, and why doesn't Andrew Berry and Stefanski say no? I think Stefanski just did not appreciate how mediocre Watson was. And Watson's not going to fit into the Browns' carefully curated offense, the play action, the Case Keenums, the Jacoby Brissetts. This is why Joe Flacco is thriving with the Browns, because he is smart. He understands what Stefanski's going to do. The O-line knows where he is at all times on his dropbacks. He's doing the 6-step dropback. He's doing the 2 drop back, where Watson, they never knew where he was half the time.
Yeah.
He looked like a rookie quarterback last year. He's supposed to go through his progressions like Shedeur did, right? And Gabriel did. You go back and watch tapes of Deshaun Watson, guy looks like a rookie quarterback. He's going back, he's looking for his first read, then all of a sudden he's looking at the rush. And he starts running around.
I think that's what happens when you don't play for almost 2 years.
Yeah, but he was like that with the Texans. One of the things they kept saying, and I said this last year, they kept saying about the Texans, they got a bad O-line. Right? Poor Watson. He doesn't have anybody to block for him. All of a sudden, they get the guy from Ohio State as quarterback. Suddenly, their O-line looks pretty damn good, right? Because the guy's getting rid of the ball on time. And so this is a perfect opportunity to bet the over for the Browns. They are going to be so much better than last year. And on the front end, the bets, take the Browns, take the points. And like I said earlier, I can't wait to see that defense against Cincinnati.
Yeah. Well,
and I can't
probably the best passing offense in the league.
Yeah.
So it's a good, and Bengals, at least notoriously the past 2-3 years, always start off slow.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost to the Patriots that first week last year and second game. And then, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Patriots could have a good season.
Yeah.
Now they got rid of Belichick.
No.
And the other guy.
What's his name? Yeah.
And they brought in
Vrabel.
Vrabel, he's a good coach. So, they're going to be better than they were last year.
He's a great.
That's another over
Yeah.
bet to pick. There's a lot of good over-under bets, I think, this year. Hey, look at the Broncos. We'll end on this note. Look at the Broncos. Who would have predicted they'd be in the playoffs last year after the shitty year they had? They got a new coach. They got rid of Russell, Deshaun Watson, Wilson, right?
Hustle and bustle.
They got rid of him, and all of a sudden, Sean Payton's doing his Sean Payton thing.
Yeah.
You got the right quarterback that's going to do what he tells him to do. Bingo.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll have our podcast next week, post third exhibition game. It's going to be interested to see Shedeur in the third quarter. That'll be fun. Maybe Gabriel in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a good game to watch.
Gabriel, and I'll end on this note because I was listening to my fantasy football podcast last night because my draft is next week. So but they were talking about how like some rookies just have that just like aura.
Yeah.
Like they were watching Cam Ward and they're like, he's just got something, or he's just like, he just kind of like, that guy's got it. And they were saying they were watching Dylan Gabriel play and they were like, I don't know what it is, but he just has this presence.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, think about the Colts quarterback.
Oh, he's a mess.
And then you think about, and he was number 1 and number 2 was the Texans quarterback, right? Or is that?
It went Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony. Was
CJ Stroud? Really?
That's pretty
How good was he?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Well, speaking of that, first Buckeyes game too, next Saturday.
Who are they playing?
Arch Manning, Texas.
Texas. In
I think it's in Columbus.
Hey, I got something. The final note. Deshaun Watson. We got 2 number 1s, right?
2 number 1s.
We trade on the number 1 pick. Maybe Jacksonville sucks, right?
They could be frisky.
Yeah.
Never know.
Well, guess who's hurt on Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Travis Hunter.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well.
Yep. He got hurt. Got banged, dinged up a little. No, they play him both ways.
Oh,
he's on the IR. Yeah. Easily. That's just dumb. They got 2 players for 1. Yeah. Bullshit. But you could trade a number 1 for maybe number 2, right? But you got to take Deshaun Watson. Right.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of, that's an Andrew Berry move. Yeah, right. Yeah, here's your quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
Well, the Browns next year could do what the Texans did.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud and that top defensive end, and boom.
I think the Browns, I'm with you, Brooke. I really think, I know we're wet dreaming here, but I really think I think we got 2 good quarterbacks. I really do. And we got Uncle Joe as the mentor in the quarterback room.
He's perfect.
I mean, he is the perfect, just veteran pro who can mentor these young guys.
Happy to be there.
And happy to be their gratitude, appreciation for having I mean, you couldn't get, Bertie Kosar had Gary Danielson when he came along his rookie year. Danielson was the perfect quarterback. And that, and that's, what's his face? Ernie Accorsi's move. Of course he gets Danielson. He gets, he knows his mentor. Then he pulls a rabbit out of the hat. He gets Kosar. And then Modell gets pissed off at Accorsi for getting all the plaudits and everything. And so, of course, he goes to the Giants with George Young and they win the Super Bowl. Thanks, Art Modell. But anyways, getting back to the Browns. 2 number 1s. We got our quarterbacks. Wow. We're going to get another stud lineman.
Yeah.
Load up on D. I mean, just, oh my God. Yeah.
Well, the Buckeyes have 2 All-Americans.
Wide receivers.
Wide receiver. And,
they always have wide.
And Caleb Downs, who's a safety.
Yeah.
That guy's like.
Denzel and a safety. Yeah.
So, go Buckeyes.
All right. All right, folks. We'll pick it up next week. Thanks, Amari.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Browns Anonymous podcast with Mike Riley. We have a lot more content on the way as we get this new podcast started. You can also check out some of our other podcasts like the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast and other new ones that will start soon. On any platform that you find yourself listening to us on, feel free to leave us a like or comment or follow us. It always helps.